with Christian Yelich, and now Bryce comes over and greets D. Gordon, Anthony Rendon, Danny Espinosa there. The brotherhood of baseball on full display throughout the major leagues this week. We got some pregame ceremonies for you, so we'll kind of give you a seat in the ballpark and enjoy it. And here's our PA announcer, Jerome Harushka.
Please remain standing as we honor our country with a performance of the Star-Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen, the West Point Alumni Glee Club.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare above bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. Marine Corps Color Guard, Marine Barracks, Washington 8th and I, and the West Point Alumni Glee Club. With members averaging almost 20 years of active duty service in the uniform of our country, the West Point Alumni Glee Club joins the Nationals in thanking all veterans who have served and still serve the nation. Earlier this week in a boating accident. Our thoughts and prayers remain with the families, the South Florida community, and the entire Marlins organization. And now, here is Don Mattingly's starting lineup for the Miami Marlins.
Well, hard to express what everybody's feeling in the ballpark right now. Well done, Nationals, and welcome to D.C., Miami Marlins. in you. And by Night Point Systems, they offer the technology you need when you need it. Cool night at the ballpark, still misting, but rain really not happening right now. John Turnauer's crew has done as well as they possibly could have with the outfield surely wet for line drives and footing tonight, and the infield looks pretty good. Screech is weather ready, 65 degrees at the ballpark, 94% the humidity, and wind 11 miles an hour coming straight over the right center field scoreboard like it has for the last several days. Game notes. Nationals 60 multi-home run games this season, the most in franchise history, and I'm just wondering who's going to hit number 200. The Nats are one away. The Marlins have really struggled here in recent years since the start of the Nats' first championship season. Domination by the home team, and Anthony Rendon since the All-Star break, 51 RBIs, third in the National League, and having the best month for runs batted in his career. He's driven in 84 this year, and maybe Anthony gets his 20th and the team's 200th at some point. He already hit a big home run in the Arizona series this year to rescue the Nats in a ball game and gain them a 4-game split. Hardy fans sticking around. We've had a lot of great fans in the ballpark this week. They have dealt with some very difficult conditions, wind blowing, rain all over the place, and they're ready for some baseball.
It's the last night game of the year. You have to be at the ballpark tonight. Friday night. I mean, 6 months of Friday nights here at the Yard, and this is the last night game of the year, or at least of the regular season. Who knows what the playoff schedule is going to shape up like, but hey, if you're around, come on out. It's a good atmosphere here tonight.
Nats at home. It's a 2-2 homestand, 48-30 on the year. So they have a chance to win 50 home games. 45-36 on the road. Against the East, they also have a chance to win 50. They're 49-24 against their own division. This is the one ball club that has given the Nats some fits in the NL East this year. 3-3 here, 5-5 in Miami. So 8-8 against the Marlins. And you can see some of that mist with the breeze blowing. It's kind of going sideways here, but it appears to be enough to get a ball game started. We've been watching some other ball games. Raining in New York. The Yankees and the Orioles are playing in a quagmire up there. It's lightly raining in Boston, where they're celebrating David Ortiz, Big Papi, tonight. And so we'll try to get this thing going and hopefully keep it going. They're also playing in Philadelphia, where the Mets are there, in a game with wild card implications as well. So we talked about this an hour and a half ago, FP. So great to see Bryce back in there tonight. Such a presence in the lineup. He's going to bat third, moving Rendon to fourth and Drew to fifth.
It's good to see him back. We'll see how his thumb kind of reacts to the weather here tonight. Cool night. You don't want to get jammed with a jammed thumb. That vibration of the bat could affect it. He was ready to play yesterday. Dusty Baker said based on the track, the conditions. And he said you're always ready a day before. You want to give him one more day just to be sure. And here's the injury in case you missed it on Sunday. The triple down in the right field corner. Bryce busted it all the way, and then a decoy tag. I said deke a lot. I meant decoy tag for those of you that didn't know. The fake tag by Gung, which is not cool. Bryce went in late, jammed his thumb, and Nats and everybody around here hoping he's okay for the playoffs.
Yeah, missed the entire 4-game series. Clint Robinson right next to Bryce. He's in the lineup tonight. So we were told 8:45. That's where we are right now, just waiting for the Nationals to take the field. So we'll be a couple of minutes late from the projected starting time here.
Everybody seen AJ? Is AJ ready?
93 and let's go, Bryce says. Come on, 93 and 66, the Nats record. Marlins are 78 and 80. And because of the cancellation of Monday's game, they will play a 161 game regular season. So,
well, you wait for the pitcher. You go on the pitcher. When the starting pitcher's ready, you run out of the dugout after him. So they're waiting for AJ Cole. Maybe, yeah, he had to take care of some business. Here we go.
Game number 160 for the Nats. Marlins lineup. They're second in the league in batting average at .263. Toward the bottom in runs and home runs. Martin Prado, though, he just keeps on going. .341 on the road, second in the league. His teammate JT Realmuto, .358, number one. And Prado's just a hit machine. 181 hits this year. Fifth in the league and 101 hits in his last 73 games on the road. The guy has always been tough on the Nats, and he's hitting a very characteristic .305, just out of the top 10. A.J. Cole started against the Marlins just a short time ago on September 19th.
Yeah, 8th start for A.J., 1 and 2 with the .509, allowed 3 earned runs in just 2 2/3 last start on the 25th against the Pirates. An abbreviated start. Remember, that was the hangover game after they clinched. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 56 pitches, threw one at somebody's noggin and got ejected from the game. And he has a 5-game suspension that he's appealed, and that's why he's pitching tonight. Defense for the Nats. Be careful out there. It's a soggy field. Worth, Turner, Harper, your outfield. Espinosa, Rendon, left side. Drew Robinson, right side. Jose Lobaton behind the plate. Clint Robinson with the start at first base. Dusty said he'd just given Ryan a day off. He was asked if Ryan was okay, and he just said, hey, I have to take care of my first baseman. There's going to be no platoon in the playoffs. It'll be Ryan Zimmerman.
D. Gordon against A.J. Cole. Gordon 0 for 2 career against Cole. And a career .329 hitter here at Nationals Park. First pitch is coming. It's 8:48 and we are underway. 18-year veteran behind the plate in Brian O'Nora. Crew chief Jeff Kellogg. 26 years at first. John Tumpain, Alan Porter, second and third. 7 years each in the big leagues. And that ball's well hit to right. Bryce Harper tracking it. 1 down to start things off. So officially a 1 hour and 43-minute rain delay to start the game. Derek Dietrich is next. And then you'll hear the wind whipping straight in from right center in our headsets and some of our field microphones here. You're going to have to really get a hold of one to hit it out to right or right center tonight. Center field for that matter. Off speed outside. That one heading for the upper deck, way foul. Dietrich a homer against the Nats in Miami last week. 5 of his last 7 hits have been for extra bases. Shift is on. Rendon out towards short.
It was a home run off Max Scherzer that made the game 6-3. Dietrich pumped his fist around first. It's kind of jawing towards Scherzer coming around second. So there was a lot of emotion in that home run, like he had tied the game. Yeah. It caught a lot of the Nats' attention, but I think based on what's happened between then and now, that's all forgotten.
Off-speed pitch, a good one by A.J. Cole.
Pretty good changeup right here by Cole. Good late run. Dietrich way out in front.
And that is right in there. After the changeup, 90-plus heater, 2 down.
Little front hip sinker. Good pitch. Started off the plate, ran it back. Just enough run back. Look at that. The only time it was a strike is really when it hit Jose Lobaton's glove.
Martin Prado at .305. Mentioned he and Realmuto are their road warriors. And that pitch is up and away. 306 against the Nats. To the right side, pitcher couldn't reach it, but Stephen Drew is there. And a 1-2-3, top of the first for A.J. Cole. The Nats go to work now against Andrew Cashner. 9 pitches. Fourth in runs and in home runs. And as we check the lineup, it's good to have Bryce back in there because he's done big time damage against the Miami Marlins in his career. A lot of that against Tom Kohler, who is scheduled to start here on Sunday. But the mere presence of Harper changes a few things in that Nats starting 8 along with A.J. Cole. And here's Andrew Cashner, 30 years of age.
Yeah, last start was on the 24th against the Braves. Got the no decision in the Marlins 3-2 loss. Gave up just 1 run, however, on 3 hits in 5 innings. Struck out 6 through 86 pitches. 53 for strikes. So fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball this year for Andrew averaging 94 miles an hour.
Trey Turner has hit safely 7 of his last 8. Fastball tails inside 2-0, and he faces Cashner for the first time. Most of the Nats know the right-hander pretty well from his San Diego days.
Remember in San Diego, he had that big fastball, 96, 97 miles an hour. Would try to shave off corners of the plate. Never really challenged hitters down the middle. And I think because he nibbled, he would get in trouble a lot of times, falling behind the count 3-1. Didn't really trust his fastball.
One of the worst guys to walk to lead off a ball game is in the batter's box. It's 3-1, and he just walked him. Trey Turner, a grand total of 11 walks this season, and burning speed aboard.
Well, here's your Marlins defense tonight behind Andrew Cashner. Dietrich, Yelich, Ozuna the outfield. Echeverria, Prado left side. Gordon Bohr right side. JT Real Muto behind the plates. JT having a fine season.
That he is. 305, 358 on the road. Jason Worth, he would be the ownage guy against Andrew Cashner, 6 of 11. Strike call.
There he is. Shaved his mustache, still has a beard. Let's go with the Abe Lincoln.
It's a bat you want up there in the first inning. We'll see who's on base and where those base runners might be. Turner 29 for 35.
Tell you what, a 30 steal season in the big leagues is unbelievable. But to do it in the time Trey Turner's done it, that's just ridiculous. If you play 162 carp, you steal 30. That's a great year.
Yeah. 3 Nats have done it. And it took all of them more than half a season, I guarantee you. Alfonso Soriano, Denard Span, and the third one might surprise you, Niger Morgan.
No, Wilson Ramos would have surprised me.
0-2 to Jason Worth. Nats didn't do it yesterday as far as scoring in the first inning, but they have 119. And that ball popped up to left. Out goes Echeverria. And he'll take it in front of Derek Dietrich for the first out. Let's welcome back Bryce Harper to the lineup here.
Well, I think it's big for Bryce to get these games in because he's a timing guy. He's got a lot of stuff going on before the pitch gets there. It's a little different than Daniel Murphy's swing. So he needs some at-bats before hopefully the Dodgers come to town. Magic number 2 for home field advantage, in case you don't know.
Yeah, the Dodgers have to deal with Bumgarner tonight. Giants have to keep winning. They're a game up on St. Louis in the wild card race, a game behind the Mets, who are leading at Philadelphia 3-1 7th inning.
Trey's getting a good read on Cashner. He was thinking about going right there. He's timing him up. Cashner pretty quick to the plate, speeding up his delivery. We've seen a lot of pitchers do against Trey Turner, but he's getting into a rhythm, and Trey Turner might be counting with him. 1001, 1002, 1003.
Holding 0-2. Bryce is 4 for 6 career against Cashner.
And for you younger base stealers, it's a good way to steal off a guy that might be too quick. Just see if he gets into a groove. Count in your head at first base. And if it's 1001, 1002 he pitches, then you just go. You get an extra step even though he's quick.
There he goes. Pitch outside. A bullet by Real Muto and too late. And Trey Turner is the 4th National with 30 steals in a season.
Well, he got into a rhythm, and Turner might have figured something out over there. Pretty good jump. JT Realmuto did all he could to get it there, and Echeverria kept the tag on. But steal number 30 for Trey Turner. Unbelievable what he's done since being called up. So 30 steals in game number 71 for Trey Turner.
I honestly don't know how they keep their fingertips on the bag when they go in that fast.
He doesn't have any. He's got the mitt on.
I know. Up and in.
He's got the oven mitt on. There's no fingertips there. I don't know how he kept the oven mitt on. Look at just barely.
Yeah, get that foot down.
That is great glove control.
Off speed, Harper strikes out, 2 down.
We got a change up right there from Casher. Just turned it over, and Bryce Harper spinning out of there way early. Ran out of bat. The front shoulder and hips go, or hips then front shoulder actually.
So here's the RBI guy, second half of the season, Anthony Rendon. Success against Cashner, 3 for 8 with a walk. Anthony has a couple of milestones, significant ones, with Turner at second base within reach here. 2 doubles away from 40, 1 homer away from 20.
Infield's got to be soaking wet. It's going to be tough, even though the Marlins have some pretty good arms out there to throw out Turner. Even if it was dry, it'd be tough to throw out Trey Turner.
Rendon, a hot shot, and right at the shortstop, Echeverria. Nats get a leadoff walk. Trey Turner stranded. No score after 1.
In town, the Nationals continuing to pay tribute to the Marlins organization with Jose Fernandez's passing just a handful of days ago. Dusty saying earlier today that he was looking forward to the Marlins coming to Nationals Park because he felt like the Nationals couldn't really send their condolences in a proper way until the Marlins got here to D.C. Dusty told a story about a kid, a Nationals fan, who's here at Nationals Park every single home game decked out in his Nats gear, and the other day he had a Marlins hat on, and he told Dusty this is for Jose Fernandez. Everyone around the D.C. area feeling that as well. And a really cool thing, guys, earlier today, the Marlins strength coach posted a picture of a message that the Diamondbacks left on a whiteboard in the visitors' weight room yesterday here at Nats Park before they left town. The message said, D. Gordon had the most important home run of the year. Good luck, fellas. We're praying for you. Rest in peace, JF16. So the Diamondbacks sending well wishes as well, guys, to the entire Marlins organization.
Yeah, well done by everybody in baseball, making sure the Marlins know how we all feel. Top of the second, Christian Yelich. 2-0. "20 home runs, 95 RBIs, and he drives this ball to right center, off the scoreboard. And where that ball hit the board, it's about 385 feet from home plate. Yelich, a very impressive swing, and that'll be his 38th double.
He's got that leg kick up nice and slow and early. Look how slow his feet are, and the bat's quick. He's a good low ball hitter. He's been pulling the ball a lot more this year than in years past. That's why the power numbers are up, even though he still has enough pop to go out the other way. And this is a missile off the scoreboard. So the first hit of this ball game by Christian Yelich, a BB to right center for his 38th double of the year.
Marcell Ozuna, the right fielder, next. Giancarlo Stanton not in the lineup tonight. We saw in Miami Ozuna playing left field last week. They put Yelich in center. They like him there. They want him to get as many reps before the season is over. So Marcell playing a corner spot, and there's Giancarlo.
Yeah, I don't know that Giancarlo was ever the vocal leader of the Marlins. You know, he's a guy that led by example, but he stepped up big time this week and became that guy. And I think moving forward, he's going to be that guy. He almost has to be. But he should be proud of himself. They all should be proud of themselves. I can't imagine what they're going through, but they handled it as well as you could possibly handle it. All of them as a group. There's some special guys down there.
Yeah.
When you think about it, Carp, they're all in their 20s. They've probably never had to deal with loss before. You know, all their grandparents probably alive, their parents. So this is probably the first time they've ever had to deal with anything like that in their lives. For most of them, you know, you can't speak for all of them, but when you're that age, you're not used to dealing with tragedy like you are when you're a little bit older and you've lost some relatives. So this is all really raw and really new. And that's in the Marlins clubhouse. Keeping Jose's locker. I love it.
Two and one to Ozuna. 1 for 2 career against A.J. Cole, who's been behind every batter here. Hot shot, base hit. Yelich had to retreat to make sure it got through. So they have runners at first and third, nobody out. Justin Bour, the power hitting first baseman, next.
Well, you can move a runner to third by pulling a base hit to left. Good effort by Anthony Rendon. Nice at bat by Ozuna. Now, Marlins in business here. First and third, nobody out. Justin Bour is on fire too.
Looking for his 50th RBI. 0 for 1 with a walk against Cole. Popped him up, straight back out of play.
Pretty decent crowd here last night, game of the year. On a soggy night. I like it. Good turnout.
Well, it is election night. Some taking home the donkey, some the elephant with the figurines. That's a base hit. Miami on top. 3 consecutive hits here in the top of the second. And for Justin Bour, he does make it to the 50 RBI mark. Inside the numbers, Miami on the road overall 38 and 40 this year, but they hack 275, best of any team in baseball, a lot higher than in their own ballpark. So they're doing their road thing with the offense, no doubt about that. JT Realmuto, the catcher.
A.J. Cole's slider tonight not really breaking as much as we've seen in the past. This one just spins in there.
Yeah, center cut on the Nissan pitch track.
Yeah, Realmuto take it all the way, but he stole strike 1 with it. But like we said in Pittsburgh, he has to pitch to a corner. He can't throw the ball down the middle of the plate. His stuff is not overpowering enough. He relies on movement and deception to get outs, but he can't live over the plate.
Emotional week for Don Mattingly. Times when a manager has to guide his ball club through troubled waters, and he has certainly done that. So emotional earlier in the week. A lot to deal with in his first year in South Florida.
Done a great job. He's turned into a really, really, really good big league manager. Like, top notch.
2-1, and that ball is hammered to center. Turner short of the track. One runner advances. Back to first is Bour. So a long fly ball by Realmuto gets Ozuna to third base on the first out.
So fastball 92, it went out 101. Good at bat by JT Realmuto to advance a runner, but A.J. Cole is getting a lot of plate right here, and that's 4 hard hit balls by the Marlins in a row. Right down Broadway. 91. You can't live over the plate with 91.
Danny Echeverria, first couple of times around this season, this guy was looking like one of the best number 8 hitters in baseball. He's had a rough second half. 238 overall. The Nats have something to do with that. More on that when the at-bat's over. He is 0 for 2 against A.J. Cole. Up the middle. 4 out of 5 batters hitting safely. And for Echeverria, that breaks up an 0 for 14 he had against Washington pitching. 2-0.
I mean, you have 3 games left. You have a big bullpen, and this is an important game. You don't want to fly west twice. So I wouldn't be surprised if Dusty Baker manages this game like it's a playoff game, meaning if you don't got it tonight, you know, next man up. I don't think there's time to settle down right now. You have 4 or 5 days off between your last game and the first game of the NLDS. So you manage these games like they're playoff games to get that magic number down to 1 or even more tonight. So Dusty's looking at his bullpen sheet right now and figuring out who might be next. Yes, this is the time of the year where you check your feelings at the door, and it's about winning ball games.
Yeah, and with Reynaldo Lopez throwing 48 pitches yesterday, if you're looking for a long man, Lucas Giolito, Yusmeiro Petit, Matt Belisle, he can probably pitch just about every day, but we might hear a phone ring out there very soon. Pitchers coming up, it's Cashner. 3 sacrifice bunts this year. Rendon, Robinson pinching from the corners, while Danny Espinosa jockeys with the runner. Matt Latos, of course, would fall into that category of a long guy.
Yeah, I just heard that.
Just rang.
Yeah, I just heard it.
Cashner stabs at it, strike 1.
I think that's what makes Bruce Bochy such a good October manager. As you see Matt Grace get up. He manages those games in October like it's the last game he'll ever play. And even if his starters say Max Scherzer and he's having a tough first inning, he gets the bullpen up because he knows there's no tomorrow. And that's how you have to manage in the postseason. And right now, basically, that's how you have to manage. And Dusty knows it.
Tell you, Jose Lobaton disguised a throw to second, has one back to the pitcher pretty well. That flew right over the mound and to Danny Espinosa in case Bohr wasn't paying attention at second. So Matt Grace, the lefty, up and throwing. Gordon, Dietrich coming up. That's why it's the lefty for now, as Cashner strikes out after first trying to bunt. 2 down here in the second. So D. Gordon back up there in a hurry. He had a line drive right at Bryce Harper to start the game. Great block by Jose Lobaton to keep the runners at first and second.
Never been a fan of the base hit bunt with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, and I never will be. Maybe D. Gordon just showing right there because he wanted to take a pitch. But I'm sure Don Mattingly wants him to drive this run in.
Brian Honora giving Jose Lobaton a little time. That ball got him after breaking down into the dirt and then spinning. Right side and to his left, a bit of a scramble for Stephen Drew, And he played it well. Gordon is 0 for 2. Marlins pick up 2 in the top of the second. Early, still looking for a base hit or 4. Freight Rail works, bottom of the second, and the due up. Stephen Drew, last 8 ball games at .304, and he's really hitting the ball around for extra bases. Clint Robinson, last 20 starts, batting .275. And then you have Danny Espinosa, who's on a career high home run and RBI thing. Jose Lobaton after them, and he's good when he starts with the stick as well. Stephen Drew, 19 of his 37 hits this year, extra bases. Oh for 2 against Cashner, who's 31 and 53 career, making his 109th start.
Cashner's velocity's down. I wonder if he's tired. He's 92, 93. He used to be 96, 97. At least the last time we saw him in San Diego.
That ball scorched out to center. Yelich waiting for it. I mean, if you're going to go out that part of the park, it's going to be everything a big league hitter has to get over 402.
No, you look at the way the rain's blowing, the mist, it's blowing straight in. This ballpark playing huge. You know what's going to play huge when you have yoga in the outfield. We'll fit all of you out there on October 2nd after the Nats and Marlins play. It's a 3:05 start on Sunday. Remember that, 3:05 this Sunday. You get a Nats yoga mat to take home with you. And remember, the Nats all off season. A special ticket is required, so visit thenationals.com/yoga. In the outfield, Bob Carpenter will be out there leading the whole thing.
I don't know. Having a nickname like Yogi is really, that's a large burden to bear.
Especially when you give yourself a nickname. That's a real large burden to bear.
0-2. Fastball up. Cashner working quickly here, early innings. Clint Robinson has it back even. On the off speed, it's full.
You miss with a 2-2 change. I am all in on a fastball 3-2. I'm not even thinking about anything else.
Mercedes-Benz the entire AB. And Clint Robinson hits it hard beyond the reach of D. Gordon.
Well, nice at bat by Clint Robinson. 0-2 count to a 3-2 count, so he worked it back to full. Cashner misses on a changeup 2-2. You know a fastball is coming 3-2, and he belts it right back up the middle. And I'm only gonna say it's 3 more times. There goes the no-hitter. Good effort by D. Gordon. Clint Robinson 1 for 1.
Yanni Espinosa would like to get some momentum on this final weekend. He went 0 for 12 in the series against Arizona. Made contact on a ground ball, got an RBI in that 4-game set.
Looked outside from the angle we showed you at first. Close.
Two one outside. Second time he's gone to a 3-ball count with an off-speed pitch.
Looks like Andrew Cashner's kind of starting his off-season beard again. The Marlins have a no facial hair policy. Jeffrey Loria put that rule in this year. Cashner kind of fought it when he came over. He said it was a big deal. He's had a beard his whole life, and even went as far as saying that it might affect the Marlins getting free agents. That I find hard to believe, but he's got his off-season beard started already. I mean, there's no way I would not sign with the team because of a facial hair policy, and I like beards as much as anybody.
Three, two, 1 out. Espinosa hits it a ton the other way. Going back Dietrich, and he will catch it 2 steps in front of the bullpen wall. 2 outs.
This ballpark is playing humongous tonight. So the Nats have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hitters put the ball in play. You remember the leadoff walk to Trey Turner. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of them have hit it right on the nose. So 4 out of the 6 balls put in play so far in this one have been touched. Wind blowing in, lots of moisture in the air, ball going nowhere.
Number 8 man, Jose Lobaton. Remember Robinson's stat, last 28 starts, 275. Lobaton, now last 10 starts, 318. Just doesn't bat much right-handed because those are Wilson Ramos nights as a rule. Lobaton 1 for 15 right-handed. And this one to center. Hit it well, right at Yelich. A lot of unrewarded national swings early on this cool, rainy evening. Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, here's the where they're seated right now. The Mets a game ahead of the Giants. If it ended like this, St. Louis would be on the outside looking in. Wild card would play the Cubs. Dodgers, Nats, still determined where the series would start. But the Nats, hey, they can do it themselves. Blue Jays, Orioles on the basis of Toronto's season series advantage. And the Indians are only one game behind the Red Sox now for home field in that Central versus East scenario.
Got Valparaiso in that one. Maybe Middle Tennessee State. I feel like they have a chance.
Yeah, who's the Cinderella, as they say every March? That's the thing about baseball. You earn the postseason in this sport. There are no back ways in. It's a long marathon and a true test of who the best teams are standing at the end. Derek Dietrich pops one up to the right side. Wynn moving it around. Who's going to take it? And it's dropped by Stephen Drew. Originally it was his ball. The Wynn was pushing it to Espinoza. And then it ended up Stephen making the last effort.
Well, first of all, great hustle by Derek Dietrich. How much do you see this in Major League Baseball? They're both looking at each other and then, hey, you got it, I got it, you take it, I got it, you take it. And then emergency sets in and Stephen Drew at the last second goes for it. But you saw him stand there looking at each other. But give Derek Dietrich a lot of credit for being on second base. I'd say about 8 out of 10 big league hitters are standing on first on that one, if they even make it that far.
Yep. Huge mistake by the Nats. Here's Prado.
It's why you run them all out. That one time they miss it and you're standing on second is worth every single time you've done it and they've caught it. You might do it 200 times, Carp, and that one time they drop it, you feel like a champ on second base.
Yeah.
And your teammates are fired up too.
Martin Prado. Ground ball well hit to Drew first time. This time he goes up the middle for a base hit. Dietrich backed up to make sure it went through. And again, they have first and third, nobody out. In different fashion than last inning, but same result.
Boy, nice piece of hitting by Prado. Took that sinker down in, inside out, and right back up the middle. Watch where this location is. Down and in. Not the worst pitch by A.J. Cole, but a nice piece of hitting by Prado. Professional hitter right here.
Yep. 182nd hit, 5th in the league. Martin Prado. So here's Christian Yelich, who lasered one off the scoreboard, deep right center, first time up.
Probably wasn't planning on getting the exact same pitch he hit for a double first pitch. It looked like he was sitting on something soft there.
One ball, one strike. Yeah, cut one in on his hands there with the slider, 1-2. So Dietrich third, Prado first, nobody out. Marlins have out hit the Nats 5-1. Lobatone setting up in there again. And Cole out over the plate, hit the other way to Worth. Tagging is Dietrich. All Jason can do is throw it into second, and it's a 3-0 game. That's an unearned run. And Yelich has 96 RBIs.
Well, you know he wants 4 more this weekend.
Yeah, that's a benchmark for any player. Ozuna base hit to left first time. Uncertain swing, strike one. Right through Jose Lobaton. Down to second, Prado.
It looked like the slider from AJ that Jose just missed. That has to be a pass ball. Don't see that too often with Jose.
No.
If ever.
Well hit to right. Harper back to his left. Tagging and heading for third, Martin Prado. He's there with 2 outs.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller time later in the ball game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Friday night, cold one. I could use a cup of hot chocolate right now, to be honest. Fall is here.
It is with a vengeance.
There's just no transition in the seasons in DC. It's just like, okay, one day it's summer, the next day it's fall, and the next day there's 4 feet of snow on the ground.
Justin Bour, RBI hit up the middle first time. Nats in a shift. Up and in, ball 1. Cole up in the low 40s on his pitch count. Due to lead off, bottom of the 3rd. Three and one.
Be careful right here to the pull side. He's thinking one thing. Got to make him beat you the other way.
He's got a lot of room for a ground ball the other way.
Whoa. Yeah, he went with the 3-1 changeup. Bour caught it out front, but he's looking to do damage, and he's still looking even in 3-2 count. To keep the ball down, keep it away.
.6'4", 250 they list him. And a 3-2 pitch. Bour up the middle, and it's 4-0. Justin Bour, half of the RBIs. The pass ball comes back to haunt, although Prado might have scored from second on that, 2 outs anyway. And the Marlins putting some hits together in 2 straight innings.
Tomahawked that fastball up. 4-0.
So both runs in this inning unearned because of the error on the pop-up. JT Realmuto hit the ball quite well out to deep center his first time. He's going to go right center this time. Coming in, Harper. And Bryce will slide after making a good running catch. Wynn knocked that baby down, but the Marlins on top by 4.
Marlins. Postseason chase is on, but Winterfest will be here before you know it. Feels like it tonight. Winterfest returns to the Washington Convention Center December 10th and 11th. For a limited time, you can save $10 per ticket. The early bird pricing. To get your early bird tickets, visit nationals.com/winterfestival thingy. I like Winterfest. The Nats do a great job.
Matt Latos will take the mound for the top of the 4th because the Nats are hitting for A.J. Cole here with Ben Revere. So A.J. goes 3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them unearned. Couple of strikeouts, 47 pitches, 30 strikes. And the road back begins for the Nats right here with Ben Revere 0 for 4 career against Andrew Kashner.
Well, a long way to go in this. Like I said, the Nats have hit a bunch of balls right on the nose tonight, so it's this 4-run thing not impossible.
Revere trying to drop one into right center and over to grab it. Marcell Ozuna.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the first 9 hitters have hit the ball in the nose, if you want to count that one. A nice running play by Marcell Ozuna. Kashner appreciating the effort. But get this, Kashner this year 0-6 with a 7.76 ERA on the road for the Marlins. So the Nats are hoping some of these line drives start to drop.
Yeah, and he's won only 1 of 5 decisions as a Miami pitcher. 11 start tonight. 5.73 the ERA. So maybe the second time around the order will be a little more rewarding for the home team hitters.
Well, sometimes the barrel's overrated. Start hitting some down on the trademark off your hands.
This one to left center, and it's going to plug the gap. Trey Turner thinking 3 till they stop him. He keeps on going. They missed the cutoff man. No contest at third. And Trey Turner, double number 8. Pardon me, triple. So fun to watch him.
As soon as that ball sat down in the corner, you knew he was going for 3. And he started his slide right at the cutout of the grass. I've never seen a guy slide this far. So you talk about putting some foam on the runway. And you see the ball sitting there. Watch where he starts his slide. Right there. And look how far he goes on the wet dirt here at Nats Park. Afterburner Turner with another triple. Trade time, folks. It's trade time. It's so much fun to watch.
Got to get this run in when you're down by 4. Jason Worth gets that assignment. Pop up to short first time. This would be a big one for Jason, looking for number 70.
It's 7 of the first 10 hitters with the ball in the barrel. And Trey walked his first time, so make that 7 of the first 9.
Worth is strike taken, 1-2. Nissan will track that one.
Living on the edge.
Jason Worth on a pitch up and in, able to fight it off. Worth 1 career RBI against Cashner on a solo homer. Swing and a miss. 2 outs. Cashner staying away from Jason Worth. With more on Trey Turner, here's Dan.
Bob, you might notice of late we haven't seen Trey Turner's helmet go flying off when he's been rounding the bases, which we saw a lot of early on in his big league tenure. There's a reason for that. He got sick of family members, people around the ballpark telling him to get a hold of that helmet and having to chase it around on the base paths, so he went down a size. He finally was able to work it out. Wasn't really sure what helmet size corresponded to his hat size, but he figured it out. He's jammed a smaller size helmet onto his head, so it's not bobbling around nearly as much anymore.
Good.
Did you see what had just happened? Cashner was going on the windup. Turner was creeping down third base. He was thinking about stealing home. Cashner stepped off and went to the stretch because of the speed of Turner. He was walking down the line. He had a nice lead going because they're in the shift with Bryce Harper. Martin Prado way over. You can't even see him in the shot right there. But he was thinking about it. Watch. Well, that wasn't the pitch. It was the first pitch to Bryce, not the last pitch to Jason.
Well, some pitchers just, 2 outs, you kind of automatically think, okay.
Yeah, he's running after him.
Catch me if you can.
If I'm Trey Turner, I'm yelling at him, you had your chance. I love it.
A little bit of a smile from Cashner. Evidently, he's after a 1 unassisted pickoff of third here to end the third inning. He better concentrate on the batter.
He better concentrate on Bryce Harper, but I like it. I mean, it just goes to show you how much pitchers are thinking about Turner.
Two-1, target away. And Bryce just right off the end of the bat, counts even 2-2. First time up, Cashner struck out Bryce with an off speed.
Change
his first strikeout, Worth his second. Nats need this run. Strike 3 call. 95 to the outside edge, and the Nationals frustrated. 3 runners stranded so far. hybrid, all-wheel drive, and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com and have a cup of coffee tonight, or some hot chocolate.
I'll take one of those. Up to the booth, please. Level 5, but it's really level 12. Come on up
65
here.
degrees and we're freezing.
I know. I'm being a serious wuss. Let's go.
Matt Latos for the Nats. 6th appearance, 8 2/3 so far. 7 hits on 11, 7 runs on 11 hits, 8 strikeouts. In his career, 71 and 58, 3.60 ERA. Matt Latos at the age of 28 trying to get a fresh start to his career after things didn't go so well for him on the south side of Chicago. Echeverria, Cashner, Gordon, top of the 4th.
Very cool. They were teammates in Miami, remember?
Latos takes care of that. He has 16 starts with the Marlins last year, went 4-7 before moving on to the Dodgers. Echeverria retired. Cashner second at bat coming.
So fastball, slider, curveball change for Latos. His fastball this year has been averaging 90.2 miles an hour as he faces his counterpart.
Cashner tried to bunt on the first pitch last time. Then he ended up swinging into a strikeout. 163 career hitter. He was originally drafted a first rounder by the Cubs. He's going to lay down a bunt trying to get a hit. Toss the bat aside and it's strike 2. That was kind of interesting. Cashner, out at TCU, he was drafted 3 times and did not sign. Braves, Rockies, Cubs. And the gamble was worth it because when the Cubs came calling again after his junior year in Fort Worth, he was a first rounder. Some JUCO ball before TCU, and that ball skipping wickedly past Jose Lobaton. Stays alive with a foul tip.
Hey, Cashner's got a really good swing. He's always been a good hitting pitcher. He's getting his licks in right now.
IDs the breaking ball, 2-2.
So you remember Justin Miller? He's a pitcher for the Blue Jays and some other teams. There was a Justin Miller rule. He passed a couple years back, but they made a rule about tattoos, and some hitters were complaining that it distracted them. And he used to have to wear a sleeve on his right arm when he pitched. And I think he had a few more than Matt, but not too many. And I'm wondering if anyone's ever complained about his. I think as a hitter, it wouldn't faze me. I mean, I'm not looking at his arm. And I think if you're a hitter and you are complaining about tattoos, you're looking in the wrong place. You should be looking for a release point. But I just wanted to bring it up because that has happened in the past in Major League Baseball.
And pitchers cannot wear white sleeves. You could really hide a baseball there. Yeah, that's interesting.
Thousandth career strikeout for Matt Latos right there.
Well, congratulations.
Threw the ball out. Getting a nice round of applause. Congratulations.
Hologram is on there. It's been authenticated. Top of the order, D. Gordon, 4th inning, batting for the 3rd time. Gordon against Latos' career 2 for 5. Mercedes-Benz tracking strike 2.
Good frame by Lobaton. That was borderline.
Down and in, and well done. Nats keep Gordon off base again. Anthony Rendon, followed by Stephen Drew and Clint Robinson. Leading most of the way, but no, it's William Howard. Vote for me, Taft. But Teddy's already clinched it with 22 on the season. Tonight the Nats designated it as election night here at the ballpark. And here in the district, I'm a little surprised. A Republican won the race. Rendon, Drew, and Robinson, bottom of the 4th. And there it goes to left center. See you later. Bullpen number 20 for Rendon. RBI number 85. The Nats now have 6 20 home run hitters.
That is cool. 6 players with 20 taters or more. Only the 3rd time in Major League history that's happened. National League history, excuse me. There it is. Check it out.
Milwaukee Braves did it. Atlanta Braves did it. Washington Nationals do it. 2-0 to Drew. Look out here. Ball 3.
I love that stat because they don't play in a launching pad. You know, those taters are earned. This is a fair ballpark.
Yeah.
And you only have 8 hitters, so 6 of them have 20 home runs or more.
Well, Anthony did get number 20, and he gets the Nationals 200th of the year. I like the synergy. Good swing by Drew, 3-2.
Well, he hit 19 on Max Scherzer's 19th win, so maybe this is foreshadowing for Sunday. His 20th home run, and Max is going to go for 20 on Sunday.
And Drew hits one a ton to center. Yelich going back. It's another one. th time this year the Nationals go back-to-back.
Tell you what, it takes a grown man to hit the ball at the ballpark tonight. Conditions not conducive for the ball flying, and Stephen Drew just hit the tar out of that one. He hit the ball hard his first time up too.
Yeah, same direction. Clint Robinson base hit. He's 2 for 2.
Can't keep up.
So Drew, his 8th, RBI number 21.
All right, pick a homer, any homer. Let's go to Stephen Drew's 8th of the year. Boom. Wow. He'd get 22 if he had more at-bats. Big time pop. He's going to play in the postseason somewhere, trust me. You just can't keep that bat on the bench. It has to play. Only thing is the Dodgers are throwing a couple of left-handers at the Nats, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Stephen Drew is locked in.
Pitching coach Juan Nieves to the mound. The Nats 3 consecutive hits after they had 2 total in the first 3 innings. So they've shaved the deficit in half. And next up is Danny Espinosa.
15 hitters, and remember, 1 has walked. 10 hard hit balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hard hit balls out of the first 15 hitters, or 14 if you will. Pretty good ratio, right? Marlins have their share too, though.
Danny Espinosa's last hit was a bunt last Saturday night. He needs a knock. Two-1, short lead by Robinson, and Danny will pop one up. Grabbed by Echeverria, the shortstop, 1 out. And Danny needs some hits this weekend. He's 0 for 20. Jose Lobaton is next. We get into the 10 o'clock hour. Ball game started at 8:48. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Marlins got 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, and the Nats have blasted their way to 2 here in the 4th. Madletos is on deck. There is activity in the bullpen. And here's Lobaton to right center. Off the scoreboard. Rumbling to third is Robinson. He will score. 4-3 ball game.
Tyler Clippard's here. See him? Boy, the ball is flying around the campsite tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on both sides. Another hard hit ball. Look at the extension by Jose Lobaton, the roll of the wrist. Hit the ball hard to center his first time. And this one, you thought for a second had a chance. And then you lost it in the scoreboard from where we're sitting. But halfway up the wall, an RBI double for Jose Lobaton. Line moving here in the fourth. Nats are swinging it. Another hard hit ball.
Wilmer Defoe.
That's rain, not missed, huh?
There's right-hander Austin Bryce getting ready for the Marlins.
No, it's just missed. It's misting hard.
Right through the wickets. And Lobaton over to third base.
Five-hole action. Yeah, he was setting up down and in. The pitch went all the way across the other side of the plate. Real Mutu tried to slide over. I almost said slide to try it over. That sounds better, actually. He slid to try it over.
Swing and a miss, strike two. Tying run 90 feet away. Sammy Solis, as Dusty Baker bats for his pitcher for the second consecutive inning here. And Defoe will take one up and in. Outside. And with the infield in, one out, a 3-2 pitch. And Wilmer fights one off. That's a great at bat, and he's aboard. Trey Turner will be the 7th National to bat here in the fourth.
Another good at-bat by Wilmer Defoe. He has shown his skipper, take me on your postseason roster, please. Every time he gets in, he's doing something to help the ball club.
Well, a great situation here. Trey Turner, hard-guided double up. Cashner out there for a long inning. First and third, one out in what is suddenly a one-run game. Turner, base hit, right center. Game is tied. Defoe flying to third. And he's going to be called out. You know the Nats are going to have a look at that. It was a big hop to Prado. Somebody whistled to tell Defoe to stay at third for the moment.
Not one Marlins running off the field. Look at this. All right, second out, excuse me, but it looked like he was safe from up here, Carp. We have a tough view, and I like the hustle by Wilmer. Another good swing by Trey Turner. This inning moving fast, maybe a little wide, and did his hand get in there before the tag went on his hip? That's the question. Good throw by Ozuna. The ball's wet, remember that. Ball kind of checks up high, and did he get him on the hip before his hand hit? I don't know about that angle. But we'll see if Dusty Baker decides to challenge it. Chris Spire on the phone to the clubhouse. Good swing by Trey Turner. Good hustle by Wilmer Defoe. I like the gamble with one out.
Absolutely.
Headphones.
They're going to challenge.
One more lick. What do you got right here? It's got to be definitive to overturn it, right? So the call in the field is out. You just can't tell when that glove is hitting, what is it, his right hip? You can't tell there. It's got to be from the other side. You have to be able to see where the glove hits the body. Oh, here we go. No, that's not going to help me. Or New York, more importantly. You know what the deciding vote is usually when I go to my Twitter. What do we got here? This should be a good look, right? There's the tag and the left hand on the bag. I don't know.
Out. It stays. I tell you, it looked like Ozuna had no chance to throw out Defoe, and he got that throw over there. The Nats do tie the game, and now Jason Worth with Turner at first, who just got his 38th RBI, in there with 2 down.
Fast break offense by the Nats here in the fourth, a 4 spot.
Turner off and running, and that is number 31. He might steal 35 by the time Sunday ends.
He might steal 35 bases tonight. So D. Gordon acted like the throw was coming. He didn't deke a tag like Gung did in Pittsburgh. He just held his glove there. There's a difference if you're holding your glove there versus acting like the ball's in your glove and tagging somebody.
And Worth with a high fly ball to center. What a great 4th inning for the Nationals. 8 batters, 5 hits. Anthony Rendon went deep to lead off the inning. And then Drew hits one where we thought maybe nobody could tonight. Straight away center. Then they would score 2 more to tie it up. Rendon, number 20, for the Nats, number 200, and then Stephen Drew goes deep right behind him. Huge inning for the Nats. Single game tickets to DJ Durkin's first season on sale now, start at just $25. So check out Maryland football. Visit umterps.com. or call 1-800-I-AM-A-TERP to purchase Fear the New Era, Fear the Turtle. Sammy Solis already the third Nats pitcher. So A.J. Cole's off the hook. Matt Latos got a scoreless inning, and here's Sammy making his 36th appearance.
Yeah, fastball, curveball change. Fastball in the mid-90s. Opponent's hitting 214 off Sammy.
Dietrich, Prado, and Yelich. Big breaking ball, 0-2. And that is carving up a hitter. Some breaking stuff, then he bolts the fastball. 1 out, 5th inning. And we talked about this earlier. Instead of the Nats being 3 hours ahead of the Dodgers at Giants tonight, it's a lot closer than that time-wise. Rich Hill, Madison Bumgarner ready to lock horns. Kershaw goes tomorrow. Maeda for the Dodgers on Sunday, who are 2 back of the Nats for home field advantage in the division series that starts 1 week from today.
Let's go Mad Bum. I think it's important for Dusty Baker to clinch the home field for obvious reasons, but he's got 2 days to maybe get some guys off their feet. You don't have to go hard. You get all the kids in there. I mean, ideally, you'd like to do it tonight, give everybody the day off tomorrow, and then tune guys up on Sunday, because you have a bunch of days off coming.
This ball hit right field side and twisting into the corner. It stayed in, and Bryce Harper makes an outstanding play right up against the barrier. Prado retired, 2 outs.
So it's his left thumb that he jammed, and if he went up against the wall here with his glove hand, I can't imagine this felt good on his thumb. And you can see the way he looked down at the ground after he caught a great play.
Bouncing ball. Robinson backing up on it, and safely aboard is Yelich.
I think he was okay to back up on it, but if I'm right, I think he stopped backing up. If he keeps backing up, he gets a bigger hop. But then he just kind of froze, and once you freeze, you're at the mercy of the baseball. But once you retreat a little bit, you keep going and retreat a lot to make that hop bigger. And right there, he kind of gets stagnant and then gets the in-between hop, and that's a tough play.
Marcell Ozuna, base hit to left, line drive to right.
Yeah, 8 stolen bases for Yelich on the year, and a lot of times when you reach first on an error with 2 outs, you feel like, hey, I'm not supposed to be here anyways, and you take off. We'll see if he decides to do that. That's why Dusty Baker just threw over.
And then Sammy's fastball outside. 1-1. One-two pitch, low and away. Yelich, medium lead, stretching it out just a bit. Sammy had him stepping back toward the bag on that delivery, and now it's 3-2, so he will be moving. Three-two. Swing and a miss. So Sammy Solis, like Matt Latos, puts a 0 on the board. Then we'll see if the Nats offense can keep on chugging here.
To the bottom of the 5th inning. Become a Nats Insider for free today and get NLCS tickets before the general public. Visit Nationals.com/postseason for details. Do not miss out. I might need to go to that. Give me some postseason tickets.
Left-hander Mike Dunn, 31 years of age. Nats know him well. Long-time Marlin now in his 6th year with Miami. 50th appearance. 43 hits in 41 innings, 37 strikeouts.
Fastball, slider, 2 pitches. Fastball 94, slider 87.
Digging in, Bryce Harper, 3 for 18 with a home run career against the hard-throwing lefty Dunn. Rendon and Drew to follow, so Anthony Rendon in between 2 left-handed batters here, bottom of the 5th. Mets have won their game at Philadelphia, and they are really in the driver's seat for the wild card. They got a magic number of 1 to clinch a wild card spot.
You said about a month ago Terry Collins for manager of the year, and I was scratching my head when you said it, thinking, well, yeah, you know, Joe Maddon's going to get it. You know, Dusty Baker's going to get a lot of votes. I think Dave Roberts is going to get tons of votes. But the more I think about it, when you really talk about what he did with what he had, unbelievable. And you know I'm a Terry Collins fan, so I don't want to get gross right here with how much I like him. But I'm with you. He deserves a lot of consideration for manager of the year.
They've won 86 games now.
With nobody.
I mean, Robert Gazelman tonight.
When I say nobody, I mean no Matt Harvey. You know, Jacob deGrom shut down.
I don't know, what, two-thirds of a season from Syndergaard, 3/4 maybe?
Yeah.
St. Louis, by the way, up big, 5-0 over Pittsburgh. After their controversial win last night, when evidently nobody knew what a ground rule double was.
Well, it was the same thing like Michael Morse's phantom home run. That same part of the ballpark, only in left field versus right field. You couldn't tell if it bounced out or not, because those signs are only about a foot behind the fence.
Swing and a miss. Bryce Harper 0 for 3, 3 Ks tonight. Rendon is next, who got everything going last inning.
That was the definition of a back knee slider. Almost got him.
9 out of 10 at home when he goes deep. So evidently, Washington far from done scoring tonight. And the count 1-1. Rendon against Dunn, career 1 for 4, a walk, 2 RBIs. Raindrops getting bigger, you can hear them, and harder. Really, this is the first sort of driving rain we've had since throwing first pitch. It's been pretty much of a mist being blown around by the breeze here. And Rendon pops one up to the right side. Battling the elements, Justin Bour with the grab. 2 down now here in the 5th.
I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for quite a bit. It's weird on my radar, it's showing nothing. I think my radar had...
Wow, it's going sideways.
My app has had one too many, I feel like.
Crew chief, first base, Jeff Kellogg. There are 2 outs in the inning. And I'm sure that John Turnauer has kept him apprised of what's coming. But if it continues like this, the last out of the 5th inning might be a pause in the action. As a rule, umpires like to get an inning over with if they can. Strike in there, 1-1. As long as things are safe, at least safe enough. Been a crazy week. Anybody ever hit a walk-off homer in the bottom of the 5th?
Well, I mean, you joke, but it could be. I mean, if rain moves in, I don't see a whole lot out there, though. I'm baffled by this right now. You know I'm a weather guy. Is this hard mist? Is there such a thing? Just a little shower moving through, that's all it is.
1-2 to Drew. Check swing. Stephen Drew against Mike Dunn. Career 0 for 2 with a walk.
And I think in a 2-strike count, if you're Stephen Drew, you should be thinking about hitting another one. Why not? You got one under your belt. You hit the ball hard your first time up. You know this could be a potential game-winning home run based on what's coming tonight.
Drew getting a big hack at that one.
There's fans under there, I promise.
A lot of them.
It's an umbrella convention.
You can get a foursome of golf underneath that one.
It's a fort of umbrellas. Come on in. It's teamwork right there. I like it.
1-2 pitch. And Drew pulls it foul, keeps the at-bat alive. Mike Dunn's given up 5 home runs this year in 41 innings.
Just a battle going on. Stephen Drew is in swing mode right now. I don't think Mike Dunn has to throw anything close to a strike for a few pitches.
Fastball fouled again.
See, but I think as a pitcher, you have to notice this. You have to have awareness of the situation in the sense that if the guy's swinging at everything I throw up there, why don't I try to fire one out of the zone here to see if he'll chase? It's a 1-2 count. You don't have to throw a strike. And if you're reading swings and you're reading what's going on, he can't stop swinging right now. Unless the ball's right at him or he has to get out of the way, he's hacking.
And Drew goes right center. Yelich measuring it. And that's it. 5 innings in the scorebook. A 4-4 tie.
Park. We've documented Clint Robinson's long journey through the minor leagues to get up here to the big leagues, and now, after his first time being part of a clinch in Pittsburgh, he's looking forward to the postseason. I talked to Clint today. He said, if you had talked to me 2 years ago, I never would have thought that being on a big league playoff roster was a possibility. He kind of says this is another milestone. First, you want to make the team out of spring training. Then you want to stick on the big league roster until September. Now it's you want to make the playoff roster. So he says he's waiting a couple more days for that stress to be over with, and then he's just willing to do whatever he can to help the team once the postseason arrives. Called this another step, another adventure in baseball, one that he's aware many players never get to experience, even some who are in the big leagues for a decade or more. He says he's looking forward to the energy in the ballpark. That intensity, he knows, isn't matched by any opening day, any Friday sellout, any regular season rival game. It's another level in the postseason. Clint Robinson's ready for it and excited for it, guys.
Well, 2 for 2 tonight. Thank you, Dan, with our Coons.com. Sideline report: over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. 6th inning underway. Sammy Solis, a fastball up and away to Justin Bour.
He'll be nervous, too. If you've never done it before, the first time you step on a field for postseason baseball, it's just, I don't care how long you played, you're nervous. The first time, you know, guys like Jason and Bryce and Anthony Rendon that have done it before, they'll be excited. There's a difference. There's something about being the only game on TV, and you know that everybody's watching you, all your peers are watching, all of baseball's watching you. And it's win or go home.
1-2 to Bour, and he's gone up the middle 3 times for hits tonight. Turner can't get there to cut it off. That ball just really skipping off the wet turf. Justin Bour, leadoff double, 6th inning.
Well, he's locked in against the Mets before this. He's just kind of picking up right where he left off. The day off hasn't phased him. He is just barreling up every single ball, and you're right, this ball skipped big time. Double either way, even if Trey gets to it, I feel like, because his momentum was going toward the bullpen.
Brian Ellington working in the Miami bullpen. Which is interesting. The Nats have 3 left-handed batters coming up. Mike Dunn threw 19 pitches in that 1-2-3 fifth. And here's JT Realmuto. 0 for 2 career against Sammy Solis. In the air to right. Bryce Harper trying to set up for a throw here. Grabs it and lets it fly. Easily to third. Justin Bour on the first out.
A good at bat by Realmuto, advancing the leadoff double. Bryce Harper tried to get behind it, but on a windy night, it's hard to get behind a baseball set up perfect, and he throws a nasty slider. Look at that.
So things happening here at the bottom of the order. Bour at third, 1 out. Jeff Francoeur steps out on deck for the pitcher. And the hitter, Adeiny Echeverria, 1 for 2. Infield in. He has an RBI tonight. 0 for 1 career against Solis.
We got to be on your toes on the infield right now, because just like that ball to Trey Turner, it's going to get on you quick. That moisture that's on top of the grass going to make the ball skip.
Oliver Perez, Trevor Gott. Three 3-0. Marlins box, and Justin Bour's all over it. 2 RBIs on singles, a double. Sac fly for Yelich after he doubled early. And then Echeverria with an RBI out of the number 8 spot.
Green light situation here.
Yeah, how much do you trust your number 8 hitter? He's a good contact man. No need. He walks on 4. Then Jeff Francoeur, an aggressive hitter, will step in. First and third, 1 out. Francoeur, 318 as a Marlin. 14 for 44 with an RBI. He has 8 pinch hits this year. And here comes Dusty. He's going to the bullpen.
Yeah, matchup baseball. You got a big pen. You have to do it. Yeah, you got to go with the right-hander here. They don't know who's in.
Trevor Gott will be the guy here in the 6th inning. The Nats about to employ their 4th pitcher of the night.
Friday brought to you by Dominion National. Got the ponchos on, little drizzle at the yard. Selfie with the ponchos is always a good thing. Trey Turner's always smiling because he gets 2 hits a day and runs on everybody, providing innovative high-value dental and vision benefits to area employers and individuals. Smile. It's Friday and it's gorgeous out.
Bit of a freaky Friday we're having. 24-year-old Trevor Gott, 8th appearance for the Nats. 6 hits, a run in 5 innings, 6 Ks, 3 walks.
And a fastball, curveball. I'm seeing 2 pitches. He had a changeup with the Angels last year, but he hasn't used it yet with the Nats. So fastball 94, changeup 79. He either needs a strikeout or a ground ball right here.
Jeff Francoeur hasn't faced him before.
Jeff Francoeur, real aggressive hitter. He's hunting a fastball, and he likes to go to right field in these situations.
Target in. And how about that pitch? Weak pop-up on the infield as got in his kitchen, and that's a huge 2nd out, 6th inning.
Yeah, that fastball ran in on Francoeur. He was trying to hit it to right, but just this is so far off the plate in, he can't get the barrel to it. No way. Look at the run on that late, right off the handle. And here comes Dusty. He's going left on left.
Trevor Gott does his job. Top of the order, D. Gordon coming up. Oliver Perez has the assignment of getting him. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. D. Gordon is 0 for 4 career against Oliver Perez, who gets the 2 outs, first and third assignment here in the 6th inning.
That 2 pitches, fastball start. Got to be heads up for the base hit bunt attempt right here. 63rd appearance, ERA at 5.17. But not a bad time to think about the bunt if you're D. Gordon, based on it's tough to throw a wet ball accurately, and it's been raining for a while.
One ball, one strike. That's a good looking heater. Didn't get the call. 2-1. Brings the curveball around. Left side, tough play. Espinosa, and Gordon is safe. That puts the Marlins on top 5-4.
But he's so fast from the left side. When he hits anything soft to that side of the infield, you know he has a chance. So D. Gordon putting the ball in play. Danny Espinosa did all he could. He got rid of it quick, got something on it. Gordon just too fast. And D calling him safe. Watch D fly.
That run charge is Sammy Solis, also responsible for Echeverria at second base. And here's Derek Dietrich, 0 for 3 tonight. Front door on the breaking ball, it stayed inside. Good hook there.
2-1 in San Francisco in the first inning. Who saw that coming with that pitching matchup? Dodgers up 2-1.
Well, it's simple for the Nats. Win this series, and there's nothing the Dodgers can do to catch them. 1-1. Line drive and hooking. Foul. 1-2. Rafael Martin. Maybe next for Martin Prado. Swing and a miss. Perez gives up the infield hit, strikes out Dietrich. Bottom of the 6th, it's 5-4 Miami. Robinson, Espinosa, Lobaton coming. And also coming in the spring, the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, the premier destination for spring training in the Grapefruit League in Florida. New home of the Nats and Astros in West Palm. 360-degree wraparound concourse all the way around the ballpark. A large grass berm, you can see it in the outfield there. Group event spaces and modern luxury suites. For more, visit ballparkpalmbeaches.com.
Is that a football field to the right of the stadium?
Yeah,
right
they're going to use the complex for community events. Looks like maybe some soccer or football over there. It's going to be a true community facility for the West Palm Beach area.
There's already people there and everything.
Yeah.
It's great. They're lining up for spring training tickets right now. Or was that just a picture of it?
That's for everybody to decide. Maybe it was real and maybe not. This is Brian Ellington. 31st appearance, 1.99 ERA, 31 Ks, 32 innings.
Got a real good fastball, averages 98 miles an hour. Curveball changed to complement the heater, but he's got a big time arm.
Clint Robinson, one career plate appearance against him, a walk. Clint's had a perfect night. 2 singles up the middle against Andrew Kashner.
Clint likes the upper 90s fastballs. He's a good fastball hitter.
2-0. Nats box. Trey Turner on base 3 times, 2 steals and RBI. Home runs by Rendon and Drew back-to-back, 4th inning. Robinson's second single and the Lobaton double. With the Turner base hit, got the Nats even in that 4-run 4th inning. This will be close to the barrier. Martin Prado getting over there, but not in time. It hit right on the top of the pad.
Well, the wind's kind of been blowing that way all night, so I think it helped this ball kind of get away from Martin Prado, right over the T-Mobile ad. That's your T-Mobile foul ball of the game. Greater coverage by Martin Prado.
2-2 to Robinson. Target inner half. And he's late for, well, I guess he went off speed, so he's a little bit out ahead of it. Couldn't get to it. Nissan will track it for the strikeout.
There's a curveball, I believe. Didn't do a whole lot. Acted more like a changeup at 89 than anything.
Danny Espinosa, fly ball to deep left, pop up to short. Ellington ahead of him, Espinosa. 0 for 3 career against the right-hander. Sean Burnett, Rafael Martin. They have Prado, Yelich, Ozuna, right, lefty, right coming up. We almost had 4 pitchers in the 6th inning because Martin probably would have come in to face Prado.
Like I said earlier, it's a big game. 2-2 in San Francisco now, by the way.
And Espinosa, fly ball to left. Derek Dietrich. 2 outs in the 6th. Inside the Number is brought to you by PNC Bank. So it's a good year for the Nats. 5th all-time franchise in wins. 1st in runs, home runs, run differential, which is huge, and slugging. Nats won 98 games in 12. 96 in 14.
Those numbers highly overrated. And they were playing well both of those years, going to the playoffs. And pretty much healthy. And what that get him is my point. So I just think this team is so experienced in the postseason. As you look at Brian Goodwin in the on-deck circle, that
Brian Goodwin for the pitcher next if the inning continues. Well struck, right side. There is not an easy play out there tonight. To the 7th. 5-4 Marlins. So 5-4 Marlins. This went into the 7th inning. PNC Bank with some minor league insight. So when you have it, insight that is, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. The Nats minor league pitcher of the year named today. A great honor for him. And it's interesting because he got the win last night. He also has 5 wins in the major leagues this year. There's Rafael Martin. And it'll be his 8th appearance. 3 innings so far. 5 strikeouts for the 32-year-old right-hander.
Fastball super sneaky at 87. Slider 78. Watch, when he's right, the 87 plays like 97. I've never seen so many guys swing through a fastball below 90, but it happens. Why? I just think he has some deception to his delivery and a real quick arm stroke. Almost like an infielder that gets rid of the ball quick.
Pretty good look at the hook from right behind home plate there. On a pitch up, Clint Robinson playing way off the line, able to stab that. Well, Saturday and Sunday, 2 remaining. Tanner Roark, Wei-Yin Chen tomorrow. Max Scherzer going for number 20 on Sunday. So we don't know much about the schedule of the playoffs. We do know Friday, Saturday. We don't know times. We can tell you The Nats Extra, FP&I included, will be all over playoff coverage both pre and post game as long as the Nats are playing. Martin gets his man. Here comes Sean Burnett for Christian Yelich. Their 7th pitcher of the night, Sean Burnett, 34-year-old lefty in his repertoire.
A fastball slider change. Fastball's a two-seamer, lots of sink to it. Sean gets ground balls most of the time for his outs. The ERA at 1.80 and opponents hitting .222, and check out the lefty average, .083.
First matchup with Christian Yelich. Double sac fly, reached on an error tonight. Strike one. And that one hit deep to right center. Bryce Harper watching it fly way out of here. That made it to the second level, and Christian Yelich has 97 RBIs. That's his 21st home run.
So number 21 hits number 21. And that's the difference in Christian Yelich this year, in my opinion. He's pulling the baseball more with authority. That was an upper deck shot, a no doubter for home run number 21. 435 feet.
Marlins have a 2-run lead. Here's Ozuna against Sean Burnett.
But he threw a first pitch slider for strike one, and then he went fastball 86. Maybe a little too much plate for Sean Burnett. Usually when he throws that 86, it's down in the zone. That one was up, at least for him.
Two-one with one out. Hot shot. Drew able to get there to his right. 2 outs. Now Sean Burnett against Justin Bour for the first time. There's Blake Trinan.
Seems like Justin loves that home cooking. Every time he plays the Nats, he's a tough out.
And Burnett with a couple of hooks, and Bohr goes deep to right, but Bryce Harper is under it. Marlins in swing mode in the 7th inning, and Yelich a big swing. It's now 6-4 Miami. (2017) Nats Plus memberships on sale right now. Join for the only way to guaranteed postseason tickets starting next weekend. You can enjoy the exclusive experiences, rewards, and access that membership provides. 202-675-NATS or log on nationals.com/Nats Plus.
There's a game summary. Go to the bottom of the 7th. 6-4 Marlins. Trey Turner 2 for 2 with a triple, a walk, an RBI, a couple of bags. Justin Bohr tearing the cover off the ball tonight. 3 for 4, a double, a couple of singles. And Anthony Rendon, Stephen Drew, back-to-back home runs. The 14th time the Nats have done that this year. And here comes Fernando Rodney. Fastball, changeup, 2 pitches. Fastball 95, changeup 83. 66th appearance, ERA at 3.55, 72 strikeouts, 37 walks, and opponents are hitting .229 off Fernando.
Hitting for Sean Burnett will be Brian Goodwin. Facing Rodney for the first time. And a very good 3 for 7 as a pinch hitter so far. Ball 1. At the knees.
It's a good idea trying to get the tying run of the plate in the form of Trey Turner. Get on base any way you can. And like I said about D. Gordon, it's tough to throw that wet ball accurately as much as it's rained here tonight.
One-two pitch, changeup got him.
All right, final weekend of the regular season. We're giving away signed gear on our Twitter and Instagram. Check out Masson Nationals on Twitter and Instagram for a chance to win. Thanks for following with us all season. So check it out. We got all kinds of stuff for you the last couple of games, just like we have all year.
Cool.
Just giving out koozies left and right the last couple days. Autographed by Mass and Dan.
So it's koozies with Coco?
Koozies, keychains, you know, whatever's left in the bottom of the bag. No, they got good stuff. I'm just delirious right now.
Michael A. Taylor on deck for Jason Worth next. Trey Turner gets jammed. Ground ball to short. Echeverria in a hurry. 2 outs. We talked about all the kids who had good days yesterday. Michael A. Taylor right in the middle of that 5-3 win. A 2-run single. 3 for 4 with 2 singles and a double.
Made a good defensive play and a sinking liner, kind of tailing toward the line. Got an in-between hop, made a nice throw to home. And I hope Jason Worth's okay and Dusty Baker's just doing this to get Jason off his feet, but we never know until after the game.
Yeah, that was my first thought. Worth such a great late inning clutch guy. Michael A. 0 for 1 against Fernando Rodney. He's got some kind of off speed going right now. Rodney wants an appeal to first. Jeff Kellogg says no swing. Counts even 2-2. That is nasty. 1, 2, 3 go the Nats in the 7th. They haven't had a hit since Turner's RBI single in the 4th. Heating and air. It's their all-star sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. And by Roy Rogers. Check out their lineup: roast beef, fried chicken, and burgers. Visit RoyRogersRestaurants.com. Looking forward to the postseason. 1 week from today, but some business to take care of between now and then. And Blake Treinen gets the 8th inning call in his personal record now, 72nd appearance.
At 4-1, 2-2-3. Opponents hitting 220. Lefties, righties, pretty much the same on the two-seam fastball slider combination from Blake Treinen. Fastball in the mid to upper 90s.
Brian Goodwin stays into play left. So the pitcher spot is where Michael A. Taylor hit the number 2 hole. Treinen to Real Muto. Just such wicked sinking action on that pitch, even if he throws it up a bit. Seven, 8, 9 for the Marlins here. Had him all locked up with that big slider. That ball hit hard. Trey Turner stalking in, and he dives and makes the grab. Speed around the bases and speed in the outfield.
Well, great jump, and he had a beat on it right from the get-go. Yeah, I'd high-five my buddy, too. That was a sick play by Trey Turner. Watch the jump, top of your screen, tracking it all the way, and then the speed and the dive. That's fun on the wet grass, too. Look how far he slid. Trey Turner doing it all here tonight. Offense, defense, stealing bases. Trey Turner thankful for the effort. Blake Treinen thankful for the effort.
Danny Echeverria now. 1 for 2, RBI single, a walk. And then Chris Johnson on deck to hit for Fernando Rodney. Chopper left side, one hop, Rendon. Blake Treinen, a typical ground ball out.
Most popular way to follow the Nats postseason push is with MLB.com at bat. The #1 app for live baseball. It was #2 for a while, but now it's #1. Enjoy Game Day Live, video highlights, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your favorite devices now.
Chris Johnson, 1 career RBI against Blake Treinen. David Phelps for the 8th. Harper, Rendon, and Drew. So a right-hander warming up with lefty, right, left coming up.
You remember when Jose Fernandez hit a home run against the Braves, and Chris Johnson was playing third, and they kind of had a dust up. You remember Brian McCann didn't like the fact that he watched it too long. Well, you know, Chris Johnson became a Marlin this year, and the first guy that came up to Chris Johnson and hugged him at a golf tournament before the season was Jose Fernandez. And all the other Marlins were watching, and they saw that, and they said, well, if they're okay, we're okay. Because those two didn't like each other, and the fact that Jose kind of forgave him for that whole thing set the tone. And the other night after the game, Chris Johnson brought his son out to the mound, sat him on the 16 behind the mound, and they took a picture of his son sitting there. So it just goes to show you how Jose changed people's lives, and the fact that these guys hated each other and they ended up becoming friends as teammates.
Wow. Good story. Great story.
Yeah, that's when Brian McCann, you know, wouldn't let people cross home plate.
Yeah, right. He used to be the keeper of home plate on home runs. Chris Johnson, and this is why I didn't mention it, was 0 for 7 against Blake Trinan before that swing. So he's aboard with 2 outs in the 8th for Dee Gordon, who is 1 for 7 career against the Nats right-hander. Gordon 1 for 4 with that infield hit. That was a big hit. The go-ahead one back in the 6th inning. Man, that is straight down in the dirt with a high 80s slider. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Everyone calls it a slider, but that's a hard curveball at 87. That's straight down. There was no slide to that at all. Sometimes it slides, but more times than not, it's just up and down, just a short, tight, hard curveball.
Yeah, I agree. That is wicked hook action at a high velocity. 1-2 and a bouncer. Right side, runner flashes by. Drew concentrating, makes the play, and a big inning coming up for the Nats with Harper, Rendon, and Drew. The Nats need a couple.
Time brought to you by Miller Lite. How about some back-to-back jacks? That pitch right down Broadway. That one's supposed to be hit out in the big leagues if you have pop. Anthony Rendon with a nice swing, producing home run number 20. And then Stephen Drew right behind him And the pitch pretty much the same right down Broadway. It's number 8. So the 14th time this year the Nats have gone back-to-back. And only the 3rd team in National League history to have 6 players with 20 home runs or more.
The Nats are checking on right-hander David Phelps, 29 years of age, out of the St. Louis area, pitched at Notre Dame, originally drafted by the Yankees. And for the Marlins this year, 63rd appearance. He's made 5 starts, 83 innings, 109 strikeouts. Defense for the Marlins changing around here. Former Nats farmhand Destin Hood takes over in left, and Miguel Rojas is at first base.
Bryce about to see a fastball at 94, a cut fastball at 90, a curveball and a change. He is looking for some contact here.
3 walks career against Phelps, but 0 for 5. Nats need a base runner to get something moving here. Let's go inside the numbers, brought to you by Jeep. Consecutive seasons with 100 walks. Price at 106 this year. They're all Hall of Famers.
Yeah, youngest all time.
Yeah. Three Ks tonight.
You know, a hitter can lose his timing as soon as 3 days. So even though Bryce is having a rough night, you know, hopefully he's figuring things out pitch by pitch. But that's the 4th strikeout for Bryce tonight.
1 out, 8th inning.
He's got a lot of things going on, and looks like the timing's just a little off tonight, and that front shoulder and hips are flying out. But a couple more days to figure it out, hopefully, for Dusty Baker's club.
And Marlins throwing a lefty, Wei-Yin Chen, tomorrow. Anthony Rendon 1 for 3. Solo homer, his 20th. Back in the 4th inning.
Good take. Just missed.
Two for 5 career against David Phelps. He's got that heater going up in the zone. That one a little more plate than the one before. Counts even, 2-2.
Yeah, just a little cut to it at the end, too subtle.
And that one riding high. Stephen Drew on deck, bottom of the 8th. The Marlins bullpen untouchable so far through 3 1/3. Hitless ball. They haven't walked anybody. And Rendon strikes out for the second here in the 8th. $4 tomorrow. Tanner Roark will take one more stab at number 16. It's a career high. 32 starts already for him, and Tanner over 204 innings. Wei-Yin Chen 5-4, 21 starts. The lefty, as previously mentioned, for Miami. We'll get you going with Nats Extra at 3:30. First pitch 4:05 tomorrow.
It's the 4th time in his career that Bryce has struck out 4 or more times. In 632 games started.
Stephen Drew 1 for 2 career against Phelps. Trying to get aboard for Clint Robinson here. Bottom 8. Up the middle all 3 times tonight. A really long fly to center in the 2nd. Then the home run. Another fly ball in the 5th. So this year, of his 38 hits, 20 extra bases.
It's impressive. He's got pop. And he's learned how to be a bench guy. Remember the 2014 Giants? They were playing poorly down the stretch. They won the wild card game and they went on to win the World Series. So things can change in a hurry, and I'm sticking to that.
Yeah, it's a whole new season next Friday.
It is. I mean, ideally, you'd love to have momentum and be playing playoff games for 2 weeks and just take it right into the playoffs. But, you know, that doesn't always happen. And even if you're the Cubs and you're playing great, you still have that layoff, a 4-day layoff. So maybe the 4-day layoff is just what Dusty Baker's team needs. And you could try to mimic what the Giants did in 14. And when the Jets fly over, flip the switch. At least that's what I'm sticking to right now, because that's the only thing I can think of. It just seems to me they want to play games that matter, and it's hard to get up for games that don't, even though, you know, the home field advantage, you don't want to go to LA twice, but still. I mean, how many games have they really played this year that have mattered? I mean, they've just been doing it for their teammates and for themselves, coming out and playing hard every night and winning ball games and playing the game right. Their managers pulled all the right strings all season long.
And when you look at all 6 division races, every first place team clinched pretty early this year. Swing, a tip, and a strikeout. David Phelps fans Harper, Rendon, and Drew. 9th inning ahead, the Marlins 6-4.
The Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a $37 donation to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season. A lot of scoring here tonight. A lot of scoring.
Blake Trinan will get a second inning of work here. Gave up a base hit to Chris Johnson. 14 pitches, 11 strikes in the 8th, and trying to keep the Marlins within 2. The Nats will have 6, 7, 8 due up, and Sean Kelly, if needed, Mark Zepchinski. And there's Miguel Rojas, who came in to replace Justin Bohr at first base, but Dietrich in the order.
Yes, he did.
He did indeed. Rojas, first career at bat against Blake Trinan.
Those are some colorful batting gloves, aren't they?
You know, wouldn't you want less easy to see batting gloves for a check swing? Those are screaming, "I went."
They're just screaming, period. Kind of like them, actually.
One ball, one strike. Johnny Holiday, baseball tonight, football tomorrow with Ray Knight. Tune into the Nats Extra postgame show presented by WB Mason when this one's over.
Is tomorrow Pups in the Park? Because that's worth a W for sure. I remember seeing one late on the schedule. That is good. I get one last game to show off my dog breed skills. I've been practicing, Carp. I'm ready. I think I'm going to get them right.
Well, one more thing to fact check this year.
I've been nailing them, man. I think if you just put doodle at the end of every dog, you're right. Because it seems like, yeah, that is a green doodle. Because everybody's mixing breeds with poodles, and they're all coming out really cute. So why not just put doodle on the end of everything? Another chopper. A Great Dane doodle, though, might be a little much. Or a Chihuahua doodle. Pit bull doodle. Meh. Just let me go. I'm on a roll right now.
Roll on. Getting his hands inside the ball, hitting it well to left. And in Washington, that's a ground rule double. Miguel Rojas at second base, leading off the 9th.
He did a real nice job of getting his hands inside this sinker. Might have been a backup slider, looking at it again. And the ball bounces out of the park. Hits the bike rack. Ground rule double.
Marlins 11 hits on the night. There's Martin Prado against Blake Trinan. 0 for 5 career. One for 4 night with a run scored. It's a huge run out at second, nobody out. Fastball up, and Prado's going to push the runner. as Drew grabs it near the bag for the first out.
It's a professional at bat. Nicely done.
Well, Christian Yelich, you homered last time up. Gave the Marlins a 2-run lead with his blast off Sean Burnett back in the 7th, upper deck right field. A 2-for-3 night, double homer, sac fly, 2 batted in. He will not get a chance to swing at Ozuna. Part of a righty matchup coming up in a moment. First and third, 1 out. Ozuna 11 ground ball double plays this year. He's 1 for 10 career against Blake Trinan.
They're trying to get that ground ball, let the defense work behind him, keep that score at 6-4 and give his ball club a chance in the bottom of the 9th. I'm not going to tell you what happened, but when you get home, just Google Angel Pagan. I want to spoil it for you, Carp. Just put it in your search when you get home, Angel Pagan, and you'll be amused. Trying to get that grounder.
Yep. The ball's got so much action. Hard to hit it fair in there. And the count 0-2. Up the middle, base hit. 7-4 Miami. Double, an intentional walk, and now a single in the inning. And Ozuna 2 for 5.
Well, as soon as I saw Jose Lobaton set up outside, I thought they were going slider. They decided to try to trick him with a fastball away. It ran back right down the middle and extend the lead to 3.
Here's Destin Hood. Inside, 26-year-old outfielder. Drafted by the Nats, 2nd round back in 08. 9 years in the minor leagues with Washington, Cleveland, Philly, and Miami. And he drove in 80 runs at AAA New Orleans this year. Got jammed. Slow bouncer. Espinoza. 1 play at first. Runners move ahead. 2 outs. Now a Trinan Real Muto matchup again. Leading off last inning, JT lined out hard to center for the first out, 8th inning. So they'll take on Echeverria here.
Yeah, you're walking a 300 hitter, 303 to be exact, to get to the 8th place hitter who's hitting right around 238.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Danny Echeverria tonight on base twice, RBI single, first time up in the 2nd, walked in the 6th. Xavier Scruggs on deck. Up the middle, Drew, right to the bag. Marlins pick up a run that puts them up by 3, and A.J. Ramos, their closer, about to go to work.
Time to brighten the mood. A nice night for Trey Turner's 8th triple of the year. That was in the 3rd inning after he walked his first time up. A little wee slide in the 3rd, and then an RBI single in the 4th. He stole a base in the 1st after he walked. He stole the base in the 4th after his hit. That was stole a base number 31. How about a web gem on top of everything else? So Trey Turner having another fantastic night in the big leagues. Way to go, Trey.
A.J. Ramos for the Miami Marlins.
You see the arsenal. Fastball, slider. He'll cut the fastball. Curveball change. Fastball average at 92 miles an hour. And that's trying to get a couple of bloops and a bomb to tie this thing up or more.
.39 saves in 42 opportunities. And he goes outside to Clint Robinson, who is 1 for 2 career against him. Clint, good night. Couple of hits, a run scored. No swing, says Alan Porter. 3 lefties here. Robinson, Espinoza, Lobaton. Off speed, and that thing really floated up and away. Nats will take a base runner any way they can get one here. Down 3. And that's a good start. That's the first base runner the Nationals have had since the 4th inning.
Well, I think if you're Danny Espinosa, you have to take a strike here and go leadoff hitter mode to try to get the tying run to the plate.
And Ramos drops a curveball in there.
Ramos upset with himself or upset with the call? That looked high to me.
Drops in another hook.
Yeah, Ramos does that double set thing like Aaron Barrett used to do. You remember Barrett got called for a balk by Joe West and he quit doing it, but Ramos does the same thing.
One and two. Swing and a miss on the off speed. And Danny Espinosa's 0 for his last 22. Jose Lobaton 1 for 3 tonight. RBI double in the 4th. Goodwin on deck here, bottom of the 9th. Another base runner needed. And a 2-0 pitch. He goes soft and gets a strike.
I think he's throwing that curveball because that's really the only pitch he has good command of right now. And JT Realmuto, you realizing that.
Yeah, according to Pitch Track, no strikes yet.
And it's all he's throwing is this curve. I think he has more nervous energy than Mark Melancon.
Struck him out. Curveballs, change-ups. Ramos flipping it up there right now. The Nats are down to their final out with Brian Goodwin. We'll be on Masson 2 tomorrow. Tanner Roark looking again for number 16. Wei-Yin Chen, lefty, for the Marlins. Nats extra 3:30, first pitch 4:05. After we join you in the booth at the top of the hour for game number 161. Clint Robinson. Marlins indifferent. He's at second base.
upset about that Gene Segura steal to third. They gave that a stolen base. He just walked in and nobody paid any attention because they didn't care, and he gets a stolen base. I'll get over it soon.
There's steals if you do it before dark, evidently. And now it's 0-2 to Goodwin. The Nats still looking for their first hit against the Miami bullpen. And it all started with Mike Dunn back in the 5th inning. Shut out, shut down the rest of the way. This one's over. It's a 2-3 homestand for the Nats. And now they have to hope for some help from the Giants against the Dodgers to get that magic number down to 1 for home field advantage for FP and Dan. Bob Carpenter. Marlins Nats tomorrow as we continue to honor Jose Fernandez, and his teammates made him proud tonight. 3:30 tomorrow. This has been a presentation to Masson. It's Tanner Roark for the Nats. Disappointing rough night at the ballpark. And from the booth high above Nationals Park, so long for just a while.